All right, welcome back to today's class. Last week we discussed the fundamentals graphic design. We looked at what graphic design is, and then we look at what makes a good graphic design. All right, and we also discussed that graphic design communicates ideas, emotions, okay, and I think I forgot to say this, and please note this. Graphic design profiles a solution. It profiles a solution. So when you are designing, or as a graphic designer, what should be at the back of your mind is that you want to profile a solution to a problem. So that's what makes people or clients come to you for design jobs. Okay, when you are able to profile solution to their problems using your graphic design knowledge. So that's why it's important to know some of these elements that would help you in profiling solution. Okay, so today, if you get that, please let me know in the comment section if you get what I just said on graphic design being a means to profile solution. You get that? Let me know in the comment section. But today we will be looking at the module 2. We're going to module 2, and module 2 is we're going to be talking about elements and principles of graphic design. So we'll look at the elements first. So understanding the elements of graphic design. We understand the elements of graphic design. Okay, we'll briefly talk about it, and in this class we'll be talking fully about. So in this the first one we're discussing about is line. Okay, line is one of the most essential elements of design. Okay, so note that line is very important in design. So the most basic design element is the line. With a simple drawing, a line is regarded as just a mere stroke of a pen, but in the field of study of design, a line connects 2 points. Okay, lines are effectively used in separating or creating a space between other elements or to provide a central focus. Okay, so in graphic, why you use line, or why do you use line? You use line to create space or differences. Okay, we create space between 2 elements. All right, I'm going to show you some designs where lines are used. It could be tiny lines. Okay, we have different type of lines. So if you look at this, all right, let me zoom in so we can all see properly. If you look at this now, okay, now this is a line, all right, separating this element, okay, from this element. Okay, so this is one element in the design. All right, so lines are used to separate elements from one another, and can be used to connect and also to center, to provide a central focus. Okay, if you want to focus on a particular element, you can use lines, all right, to achieve that. All right, these are several lines. There's several types of lines. Okay, now the direction, weight, and character of the line can convey different states of emotion and can evoke various reactions. So it depends on the kind of message you want to pass, the kind of message you want to communicate. I'll determine the kind of lines you're going to use. So further, we're going to discuss the emotions of lines. Okay, I'm going to discuss that. Okay, so let's look at the lines are everywhere in design. They are used to divide space, direct the user's eyes, like I said, create a flow, create emphasis, okay, and organize all your design elements into form. All right, so that's line. We have the meaning and mood, okay, of your lines. When you use the type of lines, okay, so there are different moods it communicates, emotions it communicates, whichever lines you are using. Okay, so if the line you are using does not communicate what you intend to communicate, you don't use the line. Okay, so lines are great for creating mood and meaning. Beyond the foundational lines types, other line types and styles can be used to create meaning and mood. All right, let me just quickly explain before we get there. Explain some types of lines. Okay, we have the literal line. A literal line is just that, a line. Okay, it's the visual or the actual line you see. Okay, then we have the implied line. This type of line is imaginary. Okay, lines that your mind instantly creates by connecting dots. All right, look at if you look at this, okay, if you look at this, these are dots. Okay, but you literally create, or as you see it, you instantly create a line on that path. Okay, but they are dots actually. Okay, so that's an implied line. All right, so these are types of line that is imaginary and your mind creates instantly by connecting dots or elements together. So this is an example, like I said. Then we have the psychic line. Okay, this is another type of imaginary lines. Okay, or it differs from the slightly though from the implied line. Okay, so a great example of this is you have series of arrows like this. Sorry, you have series of arrows like that, and okay, let me just do this. Just need to show you just for this. I'm not printing, so okay. So just to show you, okay, when you have this, okay, you have this. Okay, now naturally it creates a flow and directs your attention this way. Okay, so that is a psychic line. You have the contour line, you have the dividing line. So let's just look at what the meanings of lines. Let's look at the meanings of lines. Okay, let's look at the meanings of lines. Oh, the first one is the vertical line. Now, vertical lines stimulate eyes. Okay, stimulate eyes and can create a mood of grandeur or spirituality. All right, so this is when you use a vertical line, you are trying to create height. Okay, the message you are trying to pass across is height. Okay, that's what it creates. All right, so the next one is the horizontal lines. Horizontal lines generally create relaxation or a calming mood. They tend to be quiet and subtle, whereas vertical lines are more imposing and powerful. Okay, when you have vertical lines, they are subtle. Unlike the vertical line, when you have horizontal lines, they are subtle. It creates a kind of relaxed feelings, okay, or a calm mood. So if your message or your project is the kind of message you want to pass across with the project is a relaxed, like you want to create a relaxed mood, okay, then and you want to make use of line, the horizontal line is the best. Okay, is what will fit in that project. Okay, I'll communicate the emotions perfectly. Okay, we also have the curved lines. Okay, the majority of curved lines create familiarity and comfort. They also suggest relaxation. Curved lines are very easy on the eyes. Look at this, it's even sweet looking at it, and are interesting to follow. Okay, so when you see lines like this, it creates kind of relaxation. All right, and then it even helps to guide the line, the eyes rather, the eyes of the viewer. and tend to create a feeling of comfort and tranquility rather. So combining thin and thick lines is a great way to create visual interest rather. Let me go again. Combining the thick and thin lines is a great way to create visual interest at hierarchy by balancing the visual demanding thick lines with the subtle and comforting thin lines. So in your project, to create balance, okay, you can combine both the thick line and the thin line on your project so as to create a balance, okay, so as to create a balance. Don't forget that the reason for lines or applying lines in your project is, one, to create differences between elements. Number two, to guide the viewer's eye, okay, to guide the viewer's eye to important things on your project. All right, I hope you've been able to learn something vital from today's class. And if there's any question, I would like you to drop in the group, in the comment section, and also in the WhatsApp group. So till we meet again next class. So till we meet again in the next class. Thank you very much.